In this lesson, we'll review a math problem from the grid-in section. We're on page 835, question 18, the final problem. We know this will be an advanced question. The average, or arithmetic mean, of the test scores of a class of P students is 70, and the average of the test scores of a class of N students is 92. When the scores of both classes are combined, the average score is 86, and the question's asking the value of the ratio P over N. If you've watched these lessons, I've told you repeatedly, there will always be at least one or two average questions on every test. If you see the word average, even if the question doesn't ask for it, the first step is to always find the total. Even if the question doesn't ask for it, it's going to play a role in solving the problem. How do we find the total? The total is always going to be defined as the number of terms, however many terms, multiplied by the average. That will give you the sum or the total. So just because there's variables, nothing changes here. Let's go through the steps. The average of the test scores of a class of P students, that's the number of terms, is 70. How do we express that? Well, it would be number of terms P times 70. It would be 70P. And the average of the test scores of a class of N students is 92. N is the number of terms, 92 is the average, so 92N. When the scores of both classes are combined, so we add those together, the average, now we see the word average again, is 86. So this is a little tricky. So here's the average, 86, but what is the number of terms? Both classes, you should recognize, is going to be multiplied by the quantity N plus P. So this is sort of the algebraic way. You have to find the total, and now we just go through the steps and we're going to solve it. So I would multiply this out, so this would get 86N plus 86P, and we'll just bring these two down here. So it's 70P plus 92N. And it's a little confusing for some students. If you have variables and you're asked to find a ratio, you get the variables on either side. So I'm just going to make it easy, I will bring the n's to the left. I'll subtract 86n from the right and from the left, and so the n's combined on the left side is simply 6n. Now we get the p's on the right side. We'll subtract 70 from both sides, and we end up with 16p. We're almost done. What is the ratio here? I think a lot of students get confused and they think it's 6 over 16. Remember, the question is asking for P over N here. All right? It's an easy way to think about this. P over N, if you want, the easiest way I can sort of explain it for you, it's whatever the coefficient on this side is, you want to flip it. And so what I mean by that is if you take this 6 and you flip it to that side, isn't 16 times 6 the same as 6 when you flip this times 16? Does that make sense, hopefully? So we want to make this a true statement. So the P is actually the smaller number. The P is on top, and it's going to be 6. That's our P. And on the bottom, the N is going to be 16, because isn't that a true statement? 6 times 16 equals 16 times 6. So here is our answer here. Now remember, this is a grid in. You don't have to reduce it. It's just got to fit in the grid. So you could put 6 over 16. You could also reduce that to 3 over 8, and that would work. Or you could use your calculator, 0.375. All three of those would be acceptable. Tough problem. Again, if you didn't follow every step, review it, but you have to find the total for any average question. All right, the answer here is one of these three choices. See you next time. Thanks for watching.